Welcome to Araz News English. South Azerbaijani National Resistance Organization publishes annual report of 2017.
The annual report of National Resistance Organization of South Azerbaijan 2017 covers domestic activities and foreign activities following in the second chapter of the report. The activities of Central Council consist of lobbying, attracting potential supporters, and staff development, media activities and human rights activities, each with a long detailed description. In this section, Araz News TV, Araz News website, and related Telegram, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook activities have been explained. Activities of the National Resistance Organization abroad include publishing books, participation and organization of different events, sessions and conferences held in 2017. Domestic activities of resistance organization are divided into field and media work. In terms of security, this organization referred to domestic activities presented only in summary, without giving names. Domestic activities of the National Resistance Organizations, calls, ceremonies, national memorial programs, spreading traffics, brochures and CD, spreading books and declarations, advertising campaign using the symbol of the resistance, black moon and a star. Our followers can find a full version of the report from the Araz News website and Araz News Telegram.
South Azerbaijani national activists issued statement against terrorist group across the west of South Azerbaijan.
According to Araz News Agency, while Turkish army started its olive branch operation against terrorists in north of Syria, in the west of South Azerbaijan, some supporters of PJAK and PKK terror groups invited people to the streets to oppose this operation. Afterwards, South Azerbaijani national activists, in a statement, once again pointed out that South Azerbaijan Turkish nation is against terrorists and they support Turkish army in confrontation of terrorist organizations. It is necessary to emphasize that this declaration has been distributed in the cities of South Azerbaijan such as Koy, Suldus and Urmia.
Some of those arrested in Hoy city of South Azerbaijan were released.
Some of the activists arrested in Hoy, South Azerbaijan, in December 31 were released in January 27. Shehryar Gulvani, Azerbaijani translator and culture activist, and Abbas Kocheri, a famous calligraphy master, were released from prison of Hoy city for 500 million two-man bail. Most of the protesters are in the quarantine of Hoy prison, and we do not have accurate information of their situation. Among them, Arif Sultan Alizadeh, 20 years old, and Hatif Sultan Alizadeh, 23 years old. It should be emphasized that Abbas Kocheri and Shehryar Gulvani were arrested and sent to prison by the Iranian forces from their own houses before joining any protests.
Students of Urmia Industrial University want Turkish language and literature course to be included in curriculum.
South Azerbaijan students of Industrial University of Urmia City have been making efforts to include Turkish language and literature courses to the curriculum. In recent days, College Council of the university has received opinion from the students about this issue, distributing questionnaire among the students. 80% of those surveyed wanted Turkish language and literature lessons to be compulsory. So the class council sent the results of the survey to the rector of the university. It should be emphasized that the Department of Turkish Language and Literature was opened at the level of graduate student at Tabriz University, but there are only 2 elective courses at Maraga and Urmia universities.
South Azerbaijani Turks expressed support to the Turkey's olive branch operation.
According to the news of Students' Voice website, in many cities of South Azerbaijan, children and their families expressed support to Turkey's olive branch operation. They shared picture of a kid holding a poster that says, "We are with Turkish army." On other picture, a South Azerbaijani kid is depicted praying for the success of Turkish army in Arfin. Thus, South Azerbaijani nation once more emphasized its close relationship with people of Turkey.
Social unrest continues in Iran. Under the pressure of sectarian and nationalist dictatorship in the country, mass protests that took place in recent months seem to have stopped for the time being. However, Said Hajavian, one of the theoreticians of the regime intelligence services, who is close to the spiritual wing, said that the protest will continue unabated, and the next wave will be even stronger than the previous. Hajavian predicts that the regime will face serious crisis over the next 3 years. Meanwhile, the social activities of girls who are opposed to mandatory headscarves in Tehran are now on the agenda. These girls oppose mandatory closure laws and take off headscarves on the street to perform individual protests. In the same way, there are still worker strikes in the country, because many factories and businesses have closed down and have not paid wages for months. These workers and employees want to get their salaries before anything else in order to provide their families' basic needs. In Iran, the crisis is deepening because the country's deep-rooted economic, political and social problems continue to worsen. The Iranian state is busy with terrorist activities in the countries of the region instead of trying to solve the problem within it. In Iran, especially non-Persian nations are in a serious emotional break with Tehran and politically seem to have separated their own ways. As have been seen in recent events, ethnic groups, especially the South Azerbaijani Turks, have tied their ties to the Iran, and they do not want to support the current regime nor the anti-regime Persians. Because the anti-regime Persians are known to be at least as racist as the current regime, and they do not want to give any rights to non-Persian minorities. However, it is necessary to note that non-Persian nations have an important role in the future of the country, because all non-Persian elements, when come together, forms the majority of the country. The attitude of non-Persian nations will directly affect the future of Iran. It was all news for this week. See you next Saturday on Araz News English.